guys, how's it going? Today we're gonna try out the drill till. So this is one of the things I opened in our latest mail time video. And I asked you guys, of all the things I opened, which thing you would like to see most in action. And I think that this one had the most votes. So I thought it would be fun to just try it out in a video for you guys so you guys could see it in action, see if it really works. The whole idea behind it is to be able to till your soil, dig small holes and or weed. There's 3 attachments that'll do one of those 3 things, all while standing up. So you put it together and then you attach it to your drill. So your drill's doing all of the work really while you're standing up. So good for people who have back problems or who have problems getting up and down, or just to make the job easier if it works. So what I'm going to do is take it out. We'll take a look at all the pieces and how it goes together, and then I'm going to try it out in the garden. This is the tiller. This is the hole digger. And the weeder is already attached to the bottom shaft. So you can either leave this 18 inches like this and then attach it to your drill like this. So you can have it be this long if you want, or you can use the extension, which is right here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put these things together. So to do that, we just put this, I think I gotta loosen these nuts first, or these bolts. Okay, that should work. So I put that in like so, and then we tighten them down. And this little tool came with it too, so you can use that to tighten it down all the way. All right, that's really tight. I'm guessing you do not want this part to be loose at all. So I think I got it as tight as I can get it. All you do is put this end in. Make sure that's tight, it's not going anywhere. So let's go give it a try. So I've got the weeder attached, like I said, so we'll try weeding first. All right, so in this area right here, I don't have actually very many weeds, but I do have some ivy that keeps popping back up that I've been trying to get out of here. So I thought I'd try it out on that first. Oh, okay. So it seemed it got the roots. They got all twisted up on it, so that's good. It did create a little bit of a hole, so like this is almost like a bulb size hole. That'd be nice to use this as like a bulb planter. You could use this one to dig the hole or the hole digger, but anyway, that's kind of the perfect size hole. But there's another weed right here. I can see a dandelion in the grass and I want to get that out. Oh, I gotta do it more than that. Can't be timid. Okay, so it got the weed. It didn't get the whole taproot out. You can still see it in the hole. So that's a problem. The weed will still come back. And I probably wouldn't use this to weed in the grass because it creates a hole and I don't like that. But I mean, it got the top out and that's basically what would happen if I tried to weed it with my hands. I'm gonna try one more weed. Okay, so here are my thoughts on the weeder. So I don't like to leave weeds just hanging out on the ground, especially if they're weeds that have a seed head or anything like that, because I don't want them to seed anymore. So it works. You can see the roots right here. For bigger weeds, I tried over there, like the ivy that has any roots that are really deep, or if like you've got a dandelion like we just pulled out, it didn't get the whole taproot, so it may not be effective on some weeds. It'll definitely remove them, but it just doesn't get the whole root, so some of them may come back. Kind of a slow go, because if you do an individual weed, you do have to flip the thing upright, take it off, and then you need like some kind of a pouch or a bag or something like that, maybe hooked to your belt, where you could put them if you're like me and you don't like to leave them in the garden. If you don't mind them staying in the garden, just hanging out and kind of just wilting and dying right on the surface, then you could just keep going. My final verdict on the weeder tool is that if you can physically bend over, I probably would just do that. I probably wouldn't buy the tool. I would just use your hands. That's what I like to do, because then you for sure get all of the roots out. But if you are a person who cannot physically bend over, it's really painful for you, then I think that this tool is worth it. So now I'm going to take the weeder tool off and we'll try the hole digger. Hey Dexter. Hey buddy, what are you doing? Hey, come here. Oh, you want some loves? Hey, bud. You're a good boy. So that's the piece with the screws that holds this weeder tool on. So this just slips right off. We're gonna slip our hole digger on, slip this part back on and line it up with the holes there. Oh, right side maybe. There we go. and then we will put the nuts back on and tighten them down. I should also mention that you do need to have a cordless drill or cordless screwdriver that's at least 12 volts. I did read that. The one I'm using right now is an 18 volt and it seems to work really nicely. So now I'm going to try out the digging tool. The soil is pretty good in this spot. I know I am dealing with some ivy roots that are still there, so I don't know if I'm going to run into those, but this is meant to dig holes like big enough for maybe pack plants, like 4 or 6 pack plants or 4-inch plants maybe even. I think you could get away with that, or bulbs. So let's try it out. Oh, look. That's awesome. So I want to see how deep I can go. Not that you'd want to go really deep, because usually the roots on those size of plants aren't that deep. That's really handy. That worked really nice. And so you can see my soil in this spot is pretty nice. I'm not dealing with any super hard pan or anything right here. It's pretty crumbly. But I think the idea is if you're doing bedding plants, you're usually doing, or vegetables even, you're usually doing more than one hole. So you'll want to do, like, if you're planting 20 things, let's say, you make all 20 of your holes and then you get down to plant, but you're only having to get down that one time after you've dug all your holes, and you can easily plant things, you know, fill them back in, and then that's it for bending. You don't have to do a lot of that, you know, action that can hurt your back. So I've recommended a bulb auger in the past when planting bulbs, but this is so nice because my auger is like this long, like really short. So I'm still bending over and getting down to do that. So I'm definitely going to be using this for sure, because the digging part for bulbs is my least favorite. And if I can make that easier, I'm going to. So yes, I'm going to try out a few more. So definitely wear closed-toed shoes, you guys, because it does flip dirt and stuff around. So if you've got any rocks in your soil, any gravel, anything like that, it would be safer to wear closed-toed shoes. I'm gonna go try to find an area with really bad soil. So I'm gonna try it out right here because this is a really compacted area. This is a spot where we're actually gonna get new gravel here pretty quick, but I thought it would be good to actually put this thing to a test somewhere where it's been, the soil's not been worked, it's really hard, it hasn't been tilled or worked at all. It did it. I could tell it was laboring a little bit just because there was a little layer of rocks, but it made it through and it dug the hole. So yeah, I totally recommend this one. I can see myself using this quite a bit. The last one we're gonna try out is the tiller, so let's go give it a try. So this attachment is just meant for loosening up the top layer of soil. That's why it's a little bit wider, so it does a little bit more surface area. So I'm just gonna try it in this section right here. Oh, I'm on a root. So I feel like I didn't give the tiller attachment a super fair shake because there's a lot of huge ivy roots that run right under the surface of the soil, and it was getting caught up on that. I mean, the areas where there weren't roots, you can tell it did work the soil up pretty good, but I want to go try it in one more spot. Let's try it in this spot. Here we go. Oh, I can tell the soil's a lot harder in this spot. So this tiller attachment doesn't make as much sense to me because I don't know why you would want to till up just a little bit of the soil. Maybe if you've got raised beds or a vegetable garden area where you just need to loosen up the top layer to plant seeds in, it definitely would work. But I did have to apply a significant amount of pressure on top of the drill. Like I had to push down right here in order for it to go into this soil. And maybe you know, in a different area, it would work a little bit better, you know, but this soil is pretty hard and pretty dry over here. So I thought it would be a good test to see what this thing could do. So I feel like when you need to till, it's because you're trying to make your soil better. It's usually more hard pack and you're trying to make it more lofty, but I feel like this only works in softer, loftier soil. And so I don't know, it doesn't quite make as much sense to me. All right guys, so as a quick summary, let's talk about all of these different attachments. So the weeding tool, I personally probably wouldn't use for weeding just because I don't have problems getting up and down at this point in my life, and I like to be able to hand pull them so that I make sure to get all the roots. But I do think it would be useful for somebody who couldn't get up and down because it allows you to do something that you otherwise maybe couldn't do. It doesn't get all the roots though. So like on the smaller weeds, it does seem to pull up the roots, but on bigger weeds, like sizable weeds, like dandelions and buttonweeds that have a long taproot, it tends to get some of the root, but not all of it. So some of the weeds may grow back. I do think though that this makes the perfect size hole to plant smaller bulbs. So I'm going to probably be using this interchangeably with the digging tool to plant bulbs. So let's talk about the digging tool. This is probably my favorite one. In fact, if they made this one in like this much bigger, like to do a really good size 4-inch can or a 6-inch can size, I would totally buy those attachments. I don't know, maybe they've done tests and it just couldn't, the drills can't handle that much soil, that much activity down there, but this is a super handy tool because I have 300 bulbs to plant right now, you guys, and I have been just kind of dreading that chore because my auger, like I said earlier, is only this long. It's like a 9-inch auger. So I still have to bend over and dig, you know, do every single hole 300 times, all bent over. So now with these, I can use these and stand up and make all my holes, and then I just have to get down once, put all my tulip bulbs in the holes and fill them all up, and I'm excited for that. So I absolutely like this tool a lot. And then the tilling tool, I kind of find this one to be unnecessary just because when I think of tilling, I'm thinking of like tilling up a good amount of soil, not just a top layer of soil. Maybe I'm not using it right, it's possible. And maybe it would be good like in a vegetable garden situation to loosen up just the top layer to plant seeds, but I don't know, I had to use quite a bit of force to get this one to even go down, and I don't know. So I just think that this one's kind of unnecessary, but I do think that these tools make it worth it. And if they could make one like just a little bit bigger than this, that would be super handy because it was very easy to use. So overall, I think that if you did buy the drill till, it's not a total waste of money. I think just for these two parts alone, it's worth it. I think it's going to save me a lot of time and really a lot of soreness from bending over. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, seeing this tool in action. We will see you in the next one. Bye.